right, this is Real Talk Baseball and Carlos Baseball. And this is Ernie Orange. We had a technical difficulty, but we got on at 7:15. We have playoff baseball. This is the second round. We're going to talk about NLCS, ALCS, and possibly World Series a little bit into the show. But before we go into that, we want to see how Ernie is doing out there. How's it going, Ernie?
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Doing such a great time right now. The weekend's here. It's a Friday night show. No baseball for the next 2 days, which is kind of sad. So we're just gonna enjoy the night, watch some spooky movies. This Friday the 13th tonight. So Carlos, I'll ask you this: what is your favorite scary movie? I know you're a big movie enthusiast.
You know what? It's funny because as much as I like seeing movies, watching movies, I guess the movies that scared me the most growing up, and I think I don't think they're that scary anymore. But Freddy Krueger, dude, because if you fall asleep, that man will come in your dreams. So
Okay.
I think that one was a scary one for me. But yeah, man, it's not like big boogeyman type movies that I was like really scared. The ones that I did get scared of though, growing up and older, was the Paranormal Activity, dude. That one really got to me, man. So
Yeah, that kind of messed with me too. For me, it was a Hereditary. That one just fucked with my head. The
Really?
Hereditary.
What?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just had terrible nightmares for once in my life. I was like, this is not for me. I'm not watching this again.
What, you couldn't sleep, man, or what? You couldn't sleep?
Yeah, it messed me up, man.
Okay, so
let's go back to baseball. Fuck this.
What's worse though? What's worse? Watching scary movies and you couldn't sleep, or your team losing in the playoffs and you're like, man, they lost. What's scarier for you?
Dude, I think just waking up and realizing your team's no longer there. I think definitely that still hurts, and it takes some time to recover. It's like a bad breakup at times. It takes a couple weeks, even months to recover.
Yeah.
Oh man,
so it is Friday the 13th. It is Friday the 13th.
Your team was supposed to make it.
Yeah. If everybody said, "Oh, this team is going to make it further," and they don't, and you're kind of like surprised. Well, I mean, okay. So this is the question I've been asked a lot, and everybody's been texting me and asking me, "Are you mad? Are you upset?" Like, I'm a little upset. I'm a little not mad. I don't think mad is the right word. It's just I'm a little upset at what happened. If you guys don't know, I'm a big Dodger fan. I have my Orioles hat, yes, because I like watching baseball overall. I'm a big baseball fan. I think I'm a bigger baseball fan than a Dodger fan. I think that's why I understand that when a team doesn't perform to the level they need to in the postseason, I understand why it happens. I understand the whole thing that goes behind the scenes. The repetitions, the reps, the bats, and everything that's happening that they're not getting. So, which brings me to the topic into our show, which it is, what do you think about that bracket, the way it's set up? We did see the wild card teams playing a lot better than the teams that had the bye in the first. No, what is it? Do we call it the second round or first round? Right? What is it? The second round, right?
It's the wild card round and then the divisional series, right?
And divisional series. Well, I just call it divisional series. So we had 4 teams that had 100+ wins, and they didn't make it to the next part of the the show,
series,
which is the championship series. And the way that is set up, do you think it's good for baseball, bad for baseball? What do you think about that?
I think most fans will tell you it's bad for baseball, Carlos. You anticipate all these winning teams to continue to win, and watching them go home early, it doesn't sit right with fans. People do love the underdog story, and they understand that it's going to happen here and there. But when all the teams are getting beat out there, like the Orioles, Dodgers, and Braves, you're like, what the hell's going on? These teams were dominant all season, and this long layoff of 5 days is not great for the players. This game is a lot by timing, momentum. It changes the whole outcome. And, these teams are coming in hot. And they're feeling, they have the momentum, and they feel like they could take over, and they could be any team that they put in front of them.
Yeah, and I think, look, so let's just name the teams that came in hot. You have the Tampa Bay Rays, which had 99 wins, right? You had the Orioles, which had over 100 wins. You had the Braves that had the most wins in the MLB, and you had the Dodgers that had 100 wins, and they couldn't do anything. So it's kind of where you feel like these teams should make it far into the postseason. They didn't. Out of all those teams I just mentioned, only one win happened in that and within those four teams, and those and the one win was with the Braves, and I think that was the series that everybody was kind of doubting going into this playoff series. That the Braves were kind of have a tough time with the Phillies.
Oh, for sure.
They weren't the only ones. You're looking at the Dodgers and D-backs. What happened in that series? Like, do you feel like that series was more like, okay, the D-backs don't deserve any credit? Hell yeah, they do deserve credit. They play
Right.
good, you know? So people downplaying and saying that the Diamondbacks are not going to get any further because they're going to meet the wall, which is the Phillies. I don't think so, man. You know, I think the D-backs have something going. They had it at the beginning of the season, right?
Yeah, they really did. They were one of the hottest teams to start the season, but their pitching looked great, Carlos. That
Yeah.
bullpen, man. They shut down the Dodgers. Dodgers bats were just cold. You know, Mookie and Freddie Freeman going 1 for 21, it's unheard of. And that's not something that any fan would have told you would have happened.
No.
But this bullpen of the Diamondbacks has impressed me a lot. Looking back now, the Diamondbacks and Rangers are both undefeated in the playoffs, Carlos.
Yeah.
Two teams that we were talking about the Rangers in the last week of the season, like, hey, man, they kind of went cold for the second half. But look, they turned it back on, and now they're going to go out there and face the Astros, the only team that did benefit from this format. And we were mentioning before the show, you know, the Astros are a team that's much older, a team that's been in the mix for the past 6-7 years now. This is their 7th straight championship series, and this team needs the most rest they could get. So
Yeah.
we're in the boat. I don't know what Rob Manfred's going to do, but he just stated today that he likes the format. And
I bet
that
he does.
it's only 2 years in, and he says he doesn't see nothing wrong with it. And the
Yeah.
question is like, yeah, well, you're making all this money. No wonder it doesn't hurt you. You know, you're generating so much money. These owners are happy too. You know, they don't care. At
Yeah.
this point, you'd rather be a wildcard team than be a first place team. So, what are your thoughts? Should they change the format?
Look, I honestly don't feel that look, baseball's doing what they need to do. It's a business. At the end of the day, it's a business. It's whatever they want to do is going to work for them, right? I just feel that the Dodgers and the Braves, which since those were the last two teams that got eliminated, I mean the Braves got eliminated yesterday. So I just feel that if something like that's going to happen, they need to find a way to train. They need to find a way to practice. They need to find a way to stay pumped. And it's not the same playing intense game and practicing and your field and waiting for the team that's coming in a high, because when you're playing in a playoff game and like let's say like the twins they beat the Blue Jays, right?
Right?
And they came out a big high. They played against the Astros, which they won a game in Houston, which I guess the Astros haven't lost there in a while. I think since 2019. So for that to happen, you have to be riding on a high note, and they were playing good baseball. And they at one point, I think we even got to a point where we said, "Are the Twins for real? Are they going to be able to beat the Astros?" So it's one of those things where they need to look at it, or they need to find a way to keep that team that's resting for 5 days, because it's a long time, man. It's not where you just sit there and like for football, those 5 days are perfect,
Much
right?
needed.
Yeah, much needed. But if it's baseball, it's different, man. It's different, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Which I didn't understand why Bob Costas, when he was on the Dodger game, he didn't say that. He didn't mention that. He just said a poor performance by Kershaw. And remember, a poor performance by Mookie Betts and Freeman. What are they going to do moving forward? It's a Dave Roberts' fault, and all these things and all accusations happening because of those 5 days. So does it need to change? I like that there's more teams that get in the playoffs, and I've said it from the get go. You get to see new teams going in, and I'm not going to change from that. I think I'm going to stay in the same spot, and I'm going to say that it's good. It's just those teams that are waiting, they need to do something, dude. They need to find a way to stay active and ready to go for the next series. The Astros did it. The Astros
Right.
did it. So I
And
mean,
I
why,
have
why not?
and I have and I have this idea like, should we just add 2 more teams to each league? And that makes it an 18 playoffs. Now you have the 1 seed facing the 8 seed, just like how it happens in basketball.
Basketball.
But then it hit me like, do I really want to see these terrible teams, the 7th and 8 seeds in the playoffs?
But
You know,
it's not.
teams
I
that are
mean,
probably playing really 500 and still in the playoff mix.
well, this year you saw a lot of teams playing over 500. you got to see a lot of, like, the Cubs were still in it, the Giants were still in it. The Padres at one moment you were like, whoa, are they going to win out and really make the playoffs? Like that, those are the type of things you start seeing. And if you see those momentums going into the playoffs, do you see it like going all the way? So it's kind of, it's kind of weird to say like, oh, I don't like the bracket, but then again, you're a baseball fan and you're like, no, well, I mean, you got to do something. You got to change. This game is it's a game of what do you call it? And I had the word and it skipped my mind, dude. You got to adjust
Yeah,
to it. You got to adjust to it.
no, I
You got to
totally
adjust
agree,
to
and
it.
I think, and I feel like the Phillies had the best advantage of this. The team that was expected to be in the playoff mix since the season began, they kind of rolled through the whole season, took it kind of easy, sat back, and now what? Look at them. They are beating the Braves and are heading to the championship series. They had
Yeah,
this whole idea that, you know what? There's no point of being in first place. Let the Braves get all the credit, and we'll just get there at the end and still steal the answers and still get the A.
you know what's crazy though? You had the you had the that series. We all said that we were gonna, no, and not all of us said that the Braves were gonna win, but we all had the Dodgers winning over Arizona. We had the, oh no, you picked Texas over the Orioles.
No, I had the Orioles, but yeah, man,
Yeah,
I don't know what I was thinking. Texas was just
yeah,
coming in too hot, and these baby birds, Orioles, man, they're talented and they're young, but and they have a bright future, but
yeah,
it was not their time right now,
yeah, yeah. It's crazy, dude. I mean, it's crazy
man.
what happened to all this playoff series. Snicker, the coach from the Braves, he said that they can't blame anybody. They can't blame the bracket. They're just going to go ahead and accept what happened. They're going to move on and they're going to learn from this and they're going to come back in next year and see what they can do. They're going to see if they really are going to be the champions. So they're going to move. They're going to do things around. Roberts came out saying the same thing. He takes the blame for not getting his guys prepared the way that he needed to. The Orioles, they came out and they felt like they fell a little short. They didn't do the pitching, they didn't hit, and that's the thing, and that's the common theme going on with this series. You have the Rangers that haven't lost one, which you mentioned earlier. You have the Diamondbacks that haven't lost one either. So it's gonna be a good series. We're gonna get to see two good series happen, and they start on Monday. So we'll get to see the Rangers and the Houston Astros, the Battle of Texas, and then you have the Diamondbacks against the Phillies. That's going to be a good battle too. That's going to be the first time they ever meet in the playoffs. So
Really,
let's get into it, dude. Let's get into it. Let's talk
for
about
sure.
the Diamondbacks and Phillies. Do you see that one going 7 games? Do you see a sweep? What do you see on this one?
Man, I don't want to doubt the Diamondbacks, Carlos. It's a team that's been playing really hot. A team that plays really well defense, plays small ball, and they're pitching like I just mentioned. The starting rotation has not. It doesn't impress me at all. Zach Allen is one of the top pitchers in the league, but other than that, that's all they have. But their
Yeah.
bullpen, is just from top to bottom. There have been pitching lights out, and it seems like nobody could hit them. So they throw some kind of weird angles out there. Paul Sewell, the lefty out there, is throwing these batters off. So don't doubt the Diamondbacks. I want to say the Phillies will win in 6, but with it's going to be tough out there, and these Philly fans are going to feel a little bit of scaredness from these Diamondbacks.
Dude, what happened with the Braves, man, out there in Philadelphia? And you just mentioned that it's going to be scary for the Diamondbacks to be out there in Philadelphia. If you haven't seen the video, we have a video on our social media platforms. Arcia is screaming at the fans like, yeah, cállate, cállate, like he felt that, it was crazy, dude. Like when he was saying it, it kind of felt like he was a little irritated at someone. Like he was tired of hearing whatever he was hearing. Philly fans are brutal. They're brutal. Like in
They
any
are.
sport. In any sport, like we know them in basketball, we know them in football. We know that they get on baseball for sure. So it's one of those things. So the Diamondbacks are going to have to get to listen to all those fans, or maybe they just shut them out like they did at Dodger Stadium. They scored 6 runs in the first inning before the some of the people got into the stadium, they were already losing. So if they can do that in Philadelphia, because let me tell you this, I'm gonna be honest. When we chose the teams in the first wild cards side, I felt like the Phillies didn't have enough for me. They didn't have enough pitching. They didn't have enough, um, you know, bullpen for them to be where they're at. They're hitting, yeah, their hitting is good. I'm not going to deny that, but
They're
it's just their
locked in right
pitching.
now.
Yeah, so I feel like they're gonna struggle there. Now, are they gonna be able to do a slugfest? The Diamondbacks prove they can go ahead and slug it out. They hit four
Yeah.
consecutive home runs against the Dodgers against Lance Lynn. I mean, come on, Lance Lynn,
Right.
right?
Hey, but
So
the funniest thing is the one didn't count, right? And then the following pitch, they still hit one. It was just meant to be, It was
that was
like,
meant to
man,
be.
these guys could just
Yeah,
hit home runs. But don't get me wrong, the Phillies could also get it out the ballpark, man. It's a hostile
yeah.
environment in Citizens Park, but these Diamondbacks are going to be up to a tough task out there, and having to face Zach Wheeler and Noah Nola on the road, that's going to be a tough matchup for them. So I would
It
see
is gonna be
Arizona
tough.
going. I see Phillies going up 2-0 on them, and then I see the Diamondbacks coming back to tie it up 2-2. And
Damn.
that's where I think it's going to get interesting, and that's where it's going to come down to who wins Game 5, because that'll be the difference maker for sure.
All right, so you're gonna pick the Phillies. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Diamondbacks. I'm gonna pick the Diamondbacks because I guess I'm a hater against the Phillies. I didn't want the Phillies to beat the Braves. I kind of wanted the Braves and Dodgers to, meet up, but that didn't happen. So the D-backs for me, I saw a lot. I'm not discrediting anything that they did. They shut the Dodgers down. It's not all on the Dodgers. They have to take it like men. Fans need to go ahead and understand that that can happen, and who did it? The Diamondbacks. The Padres did it last year against the Dodgers. Now the D-backs did it against the Dodgers. So the D-backs are a for real team. They played really good when the season started, like we said earlier in this show, and they do know how to play baseball. They play small ball. They move the runner over. They hit the home run. They go out and catch the ball. They dive for the ball. They know how to hit their cutoffs. They know how to stop runner from going to first, from second to third. Like it's those plays that matter. If you don't understand those little things that happen out on the field, the first or third when you get a base hit, those count. Because if you can hold a runner at second instead of him being at third, you have a chance to leave them at second, or
Right.
possibly leave them at third. But those little things that they're doing, Lavello, it's a good coach. He's a quiet guy. He doesn't say much, but look at
He
where he's
said
at.
he said something interesting today, though.
Oh, okay. What did he say?
He says he feels like Coach Prime. He's keeping all the receipts. That he's been doubted all season long. Now he's getting doubted again with the favorites, Phillies, to take the
Yeah,
series. And he says we still got a chance. And you know who's the difference maker, Carlos? Corbin Carroll, rookie of the year for sure, given
yeah,
an impressive player, Carlos, a superstar in the making. We're watching it in our own eyes right now. And this guy is super talented, and he probably could be possibly the difference maker out there.
yeah,
He plays
yeah,
great in outfield, and he's stealing bases. He's being so smart at up that bat, and he takes pitches here and there, and he walks if he has to. He doesn't
yeah,
care if he has to take a swing or not. So
yeah. Dude,
smart batter.
you can still change your mind. You can still go for the D-backs.
I
I
think
like the Cinderella story, though. I'm gonna be honest. I've said it all this time. I like the Cinderella story. I like the D-backs. They're not the
you know what.
favorites, you know, right?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely have one foot in the door to the Diamondbacks. I'm ready to root for them. It's one of those where I want to root for the Diamondbacks, and I also want to root for the Phillies. I'm kind of stuck. I don't know who to root for. I'm stuck.
It happens. It happens because I'm kind of stuck in the middle, but I'm going for the underdog, which is the D-backs. I'm not going for the Phillies, but I think I'm gonna go 7 on this one. It's gonna be 7 for me. I feel like it's gonna be hard for the D-backs to win in Philadelphia, just like the Braves had that tough time in Philadelphia. I feel like the D-backs is gonna have the same problem, but in Game 7 they're gonna overcome that and they're gonna get that W and they're gonna move on. All right, let's talk about the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. If you don't remember, these guys had a little feud going into the series. I guess it was the last series, right? They faced each other and they were hitting each other. They were throwing balls at their players. So, do you think that's going to carry on to this series?
Oh, definitely. This is a Lone Star series for the rights to Texas. Who could win the series? There is some hate with one another. It's becoming a new rivalry in baseball. Just alone in Texas, I can tell you all fans there are excited about this one. And Houston Astros fans think they own the Rangers, but this Rangers team is different than other past Rangers teams, Carlos.
Yeah.
This Rangers team does not compare to the 2010-2011 Ranger team. This one is hungry. And
Yeah.
they got a manager out there that knows what he's doing. He's faced them in 2010, and he has two guys like Marcus Semien and Corey Seager out there that are not scared to face these tough pitchers of the Astros.
Hey, they're getting their money's worth because they did pay these guys a lot of money, so now they have them out there and they're gonna show out. So, who's gonna have the last laugh on this one? And you want me to go ahead and pick first?
Go pick first. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll go ahead and pick first on this one. And it's kind of hard for me because I'm one of the ones that said that the Rangers went into the playoffs not playing good. And look, they haven't lost one right now. They won their first two. They swept the series this last one. And now they're going against the Astros, which I feel they can get a little bit of fire under the Astros. And I feel like for some reason, I'm going to pick the Astros, man. Like, I still see the Astros having the better pitching, having the better hitting. And you know what? I hate that I'm doing this, but I just feel that the pitching from the Rangers is not enough, dude. And I could be wrong. I could be wrong because I haven't picked the Rangers at all. And my boy Corey Seager is there, and that sucks, man. Because like I like Corey Seager. Exactly. Maybe you know what? Let me flip it out. Let's go back 30 seconds.
Man.
I got the Rangers. I got the Rangers. Rangers.
All right. Well, I got to say that I'm rooting for the Rangers as well. I'm not ready to see another Houston Phillies World Series.
Yeah.
This Ranger team, it just was announced as well today, breaking news that Max Scherzer has just finished a bullpen session and will possibly pitch for the championship series as well. So that would be a huge addition for the pitching staff for the Rangers. You asked Scherzer, Jordan Montgomery, and Nathan Eovaldi. Now you have three solid pitchers that could go against this Astros team. And I know that people have questioned the Astros starting rotation this year. I know Urquidy has coming up in the best, but hey, and Christian Javier, but these playoffs, man, they turn it around. The regular season doesn't mean nothing to these guys.
Not right now, to anybody.
Postseason comes around and they're a different ball player, man. So,
dude, they don't mean look, regular season right now doesn't mean anything to none of these guys. They're like, oh, you did a good in the season. That's different. This is a different season now. We're playing big boys. We're playing the best players here. The best teams are the ones that staying all the way through the playoffs, and they're showing out right now. Which is, the Rangers and the Astros are the top teams. How does it feel though? Like the two teams are from the West. You're an Angels fan, and those are rival, right? Division rival. Does it feel kind of like you feel any kind of way because of that?
You know what? It just makes me feel better. Why the Angels are not in the playoffs? It makes me realize, you know what? This is the reason why we didn't make the playoffs, because these teams are way better than us. And we have to be at their level next year. And unfortunately, we just can't compete with them every year. We put up a fight, but come second half of the season, and the Astros just take off. And it's a team that's been a little quieter than usual. They won the division on the last day of the season, but it's an Astros team that with Jordan Alvarez and Altuve, and that lineup is just stacked, right? But you have seen time and time again that any great pitching could shut them out. Pablo Lopez was a great example of that. It's a guy that was kind of a guy that we really didn't hear much in the regular season, but come playoff time, he was a different man, and he showed why the Twins traded for him. But at this point, man, I do trust Nathan Eovaldi to go far, and Jordan Montgomery with a lefty, I think he could, hold down Jordan Alvarez, which somebody has to hold down Jordan Alvarez, man, because that guy cannot continue to hit bombs left and right the way he was doing against the Twins.
That guy's a beast, man, and you still have Tucker, you still have Abreu, which he hit a home run on the last game. Man, the list goes on and on and on with the Astros, man. That's why it's kind of hard to switch team. I already flopped. I'm already going to the Rangers. I said I was going to go to the Astros, but then I just flopped to the Rangers. So I'll stay on that one. But it's just with the Astros, man. I feel like when is it going to be their time to just shut it down? When is the time for another team to step up? This could be that moment. This could be the moment for the Rangers And the Rangers, remember, they had a lot of pitching injuries. You know, you have DeGrom that was supposed to be their ace, and he's not there. So you still have a lot of money, and you still have a lot of invested, and you still don't have your full team. So imagine you win the World Series this year, you get your number one starter next year. You have Scherzer on there on that team being the veteran. You have Ovaldi, man, dude, Montgomery. Like you're gonna be good. You know, now you have to fix your back end of the
Yeah,
bullpen, which is Chapman. Chapman, I don't know, man. You know, it kind of I feel a little scary with this guy, you know, like being in the back end for the Rangers, right?
yeah.
So you kind of feel that same way for the Phillies when you see the
That's the
guy,
main concern of the Rangers.
their bullpen, right? And but they can hit, they can slug it out with any other team. They have to slug it
Yeah.
out with other team, but that's the thing, man. It's gonna be a good series. I think both series are gonna be entertaining. You're gonna get to see two teams that never face each other in the world in the I was gonna say World Classic. There was this earlier this year in the playoffs, and I just feel like the Diamondbacks are gonna be the team that's gonna be coming on top, and then I just flipped up, so I'm gonna do the Rangers. It's gonna be Rangers, D-backs, and that's just coming from a Cinderella story type background that I like, you know. So I'll do that. I'll stay there. But
Yeah, for sure.
look, you know. So I mean, what else you want to add to the Rangers or to the D-backs or to the Phillies by that or the Astros?
Yeah, man. I imagine just seeing a Rangers Diamondback World Series. How crazy that would be. Two
Yeah,
underdogs in the mix for the championship. I don't know. That would be entertaining for baseball. Two teams that have not lost in the playoffs yet, and they have been so dominant. And it'll be an interesting World Series if I was to see that one. But I think
that's true.
I think the world would want to see the Phillies and Astros.
The
It's a
Phillies and Astros,
matchup that most people want.
that was a matchup that was last year, right? So the
Yep.
Astros did win this one. Um, are you ready to see that again, though?
Yep. It would be a rematch.
You'll be ready to see that?
Sorry, can you repeat that again?
Are you ready? Are you ready to see that World Series this early on, or you want to wait another year or two so we can see that?
Nah, let's wait it out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. I agree. You know what? One of the things that I forgot to mention is that, you know how we were saying the Orioles were supposed to be the team to take the reign away from the Astros, to be that team to be like, all right, we're moving forward. We're still young, but we're gonna take those reins and we're gonna represent the American League. And it didn't happen that way. But they have a bright future for sure. All these teams that are making the playoffs, that have make the playoffs this year, are making a push, and some of the old teams, and I'm saying the Dodgers, they're an older team now. They need to figure it out, and the Braves, they have a lot of their guys there for another 6 7 years, and they need to put it together too. They need to figure it out. They need to see what they're gonna do, and let's just talk a little bit more about the rules. The same rules are going to be applied in going into the CS?
What rules, Carlos? What do you mean by the rules?
The rules, the time and all that stuff is still going to be the same, right?
Yeah, everything's gonna be the same. Which I don't think these players should be impacted no more. I think they're all got used to
No,
it. You have not seen a pitching clock violation all playoffs, so I think everybody's
no.
ready to go and they're ready.
Like everybody's probably like, "What rules? What are you talking about? The time? Oh man, we already talked about that. That's already like long gone. It seems like that was last
That's
season,
how
right?
that's how I felt right now.
It feels like it was last
Dude, we
season. It's
talked
like
about this
what
for
the
a
time?
whole month and a half.
Yeah, yeah, we did, dude. We talked about it with the owner too. He's like, "No, this watch
Yeah, it's
by the end of the
crazy.
season, we're not gonna even talk about it. We're just gonna forget about that it's happening. It's gonna be part of the game." And yeah, baseball players adjusted to it, and they haven't complained about it.
But
There
you bring
hasn't
up a
been a
good point.
complaint.
What
Yeah, yeah.
were any of these teams affected by it? Nobody has even brought that up.
Oh,
like
that's
the
true.
Braves and Dodgers, teams that are being used to in these big moments, right? The crowd cheering against you and then bases loaded. And now you have to put on a time clock with 20 seconds. You have to get ready to swing. That is a tough
Yeah.
task to ask a player.
Yeah. You know what? And that brings me to that
It's crazy.
topic that where I feel like the
Hey,
Cardinals
Carlo,
are, yeah, go for it. Go for it.
let me stop my cam. Let me see if I can just do an audio like this. See how much better it sounds. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can't see you
Can you
anymore.
hear
I'm
me?
I'm I'm here by myself. Yeah, I can
Cool,
hear
cool,
you.
cool.
I can hear you. I'm here by myself though.
Okay, I'm
That's
somewhere
cool.
there. I'm somewhere in the background.
You're good, dude. So let me ask you this. So did you brought up the clock now that the season's over and everything that's been done? Do you feel like the Cardinals are one of those teams that are used to and got used to not having the clock, and that their record shows it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think the Padres would be a prime example of a team that got affected by this drastically. Guys that power hitters, and I would say that power hitters need the more time in the batter's box, and they need more time to set up, and that's where they hit their bombs, and that's why they get paid the big bucks. And I think it's a team that got definitely affected by it.
Yeah, that's true. What happened, man? What happened to your camera? You turned it off? You're like you're
Uh,
lagging?
I was lagging, and I'm wondering if this would be much better. I'm not sure,
Uh,
man. I am changing Wi-Fi, guys. So this will be the last time with Spectrum. If you are watching this, and we are moving on. It's just been a
moving on.
continuously issue. It's first season, but now going forward, we're trying to have the best quality for you guys. So
Yeah, for sure. So I don't see a lot of people on here. We already talked what we needed to talk about to keep the I guess the stream going, and so we can keep getting on and being relatable so people can get on and message us. But they haven't seen any comments. We are going to get on Monday after the game, and we won't post a time, but I believe the game should end around 8:30. Doesn't end that late. We will get on Monday. I know when we get on and we put the times, everybody's expecting it. But for right now, because if we get on during the game, I don't think anybody will jump on because everybody's going to be looking at that. And I think it's going to be excited to get on right after. So we'll do a game recap on the two games because both teams are playing on Monday. What's the first game? Do you know the time on the first game?
yeah, it looks like the Astros Rangers would be the first game at 1:37 Pacific time, 4:37 Eastern time, and the Phillies Diamondbacks would be the night game, which would be 8 o'clock Eastern time and 5 o'clock Pacific time. So we don't want to. We also want to watch the game and we want to break down the game. So how
Yeah.
about you guys join us after the game for a post game analysis and we break down all the games from that Monday, which I
Yeah.
think would be a great idea.
Yeah, we'll do that, and we'll see if anybody else can get on. See if Will or even Javi can jump on, and we'll see if maybe we can invite Chewy and see if he can get on and talk about baseball. He is a Braves fan. We can probably talk about that a little bit too. I know he's hurting too. Every Braves fan, everybody's just kind of like feeling it a little bit. So uh, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on, Carlos?
Okay, cool. I got it. That's your phone.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if my phone works different. But yeah, man, we
Nice.
definitely need to have Chewy in the show. It would be great to see how Brave fans are taking it. I know they've been kind of quiet on social media. I haven't really heard much about them, but it's definitely a time right now where, man, not every team's gonna win it, man. So it's gonna come down to one team after all these seasons, this long season, and it comes down to this now. So it's an exciting
Yeah.
time for baseball.
Yep. All right, man. Well, since we don't have more teams to talk about, or we don't have anything else, I think this is a good point or a good part to start. Heading out. Any last mentions?
Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll definitely stop by Monday to give you their post game analysis, and we hope to see you guys here.
First show. Are you wearing an Angels jersey?
Yeah, you got it right here. Just gotta throw it away soon. Like how everybody's throwing the Kershaw jersey away.
No. What the hell? Why? Why
They're
would you? No, don't do
disappointed.
that. Nah, don't be. Don't what?
A lot of
No.
people are over Kershaw, man. He gives up every October.
That's the. You know what? Let's go ahead and talk about that. I kind of have I feel bad for the man, and people are dogging him, dude. They're talking a lot of crap about him. They're saying, why did he have to pitch the first game? If I was Dave Roberts, I would have pitched him the first game. Like, you got a problem with that? Like, stop watching the Dodgers. And he did great in the season. He's taken us to the playoffs all this time, and you're not giving him credit. Yes, he's not great in the playoffs, but come on, are you kidding me? And then they're getting on top of that, they're getting on Roberts. They should fire Roberts. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's great in the season, but he sucks in the playoffs. Come on.
Yeah.
And then you have these feet.
We wanted Carlos Dodger rant. We wanted to set it out, Carlos.
Yeah. That's the rant. That's my rant. And then I have one more. I have one more. The 60 season World Series is not a real one. No one competed in that. There was no fans there. Of course, there wasn't no fans. It was COVID season. How the hell are you going to have fans in the stands? And if you did go out there and see the World Series, which I was one of them, I got to experience and got to see the Dodgers lift that trophy. Now, if your team would have won it, would you be treating it the same? No. So it is a COVID season. I didn't like it as much, but they need to go out there and prove. Yeah.
Do you want to tell the audience what happened to you after you went to that World Series game at work?
Oh man, I couldn't go back to work because I needed to get tested, dude. So back in the day, they didn't send those tests home, so you had to go to a facility and get tested. And when you went to this facility, you had to take 3 days. So I had to wait 3 days to go back to work. They were paid for though. All for the Dodgers. I think anybody would have done it though, and I think it was a tough time, which kind of makes me feel that when there's a tough time, baseball's always there for people. Baseball, even for World War II, I believe it was baseball, 9/11, baseball. All these little things happen, and which is the first sport to go on to entertain people? It's baseball, and it's always been baseball, dude. So that's why it's a sport that I love watching. I like talking about it, and it's infinity of mention of baseball for me. I could always talk about it and not have any room, any empty space for baseball. I always have something to say about it, and that's what's crazy, man. But, hey, dude, we didn't get to see what you do in the COVID. Were you excited about that when the Angels? They almost made it to the playoffs that year.
We were, but we fell short again. And then Mike Trout got hurt, and then we were just trying to fight for our lives without Mike Trout.
The first 30 games you was in it, and then mid-season, right? That's 30 games, and we're like, boom, this is where we go down.
And it's happened for the past 4 years, man. And now Mike Trout still wants to stay with the Angels. That guy's a loyal guy, man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he doesn't want to go back East Coast. I guess he just loves the California weather out here, and so he probably got used to life over here. But it's crazy, man. I don't see our Angels doing anything big. I know we're hunting for a manager, and they're discussing Benji Hill, and I don't think they're going to give him a chance. It's kind of unfortunate. And I know he went really far in the World Baseball Classic, and I know they're looking at Mark DeRosa, and they're looking into Darren Erstad. Actually, he's a coach for Nebraska at the university.
Really, I didn't know that. That's a good one.
Yes, they're thinking about bringing an old school Angel out there. Somebody that knows how it feels to be an Angel, where they rock the Angel uniform.
Yeah.
And Buck Showalter's in the mix, but man, Artie Moreno has to make some tough decisions going forward, and we need to find the right manager that could lead this team, because it's been one after another that's been really terrible picks lately. Brad Ausmus was Joe Madden. I great. I don't know what they were thinking. I guess he's just not against the analytics, and that's the thing these days, man. The GMs are controlling most of the games, guys. And the Dodgers are a prime example of that. Dave Roberts, Andrew Freeman's the guy that designs his team for him, and he just has to plug and play and mix it around and see who performs better. And it's one of those scenarios where he had to mix around. He got a lot of crap for taking out, not playing Pepiot, but he's a young rookie, man. You saw what happened to Bobby Miller. He got rocked, and I don't know what much more could Dave Roberts do if none of his starting pitchers are lasting anything longer than 3 innings. So at this point, man, it's a tough time for Dave Roberts. I know a lot of people are going after him and want him gone, but what other manager could take you to the playoffs all these years and continue to keep you at this high level of success?
You know who? The old school mentality, Dusty Baker and Bochy. Because those are old school, man. Those are old school. They're going with gut feeling. I feel like you're gonna hit a home run. I'm gonna put you in the lineup today.
Yeah,
Sometimes you got to go gut feeling, dude. And
and
baseball has always been like that.
exactly. And we're having a discussion at work the other day, right? Where you're saying Bruce Bochy could possibly take the Rangers to the World Series, right? It would be his third team taking to the World Series. Me and you couldn't come up with a guy that has taken three teams to the World Series. So I think he would be one of the first. And I know
Yeah,
Dusty Baker there with taking two teams, but Dusty Baker and and Bruce Bochy are one of the greatest managers we've ever had in history of baseball.
that's true. That's true. And we were talking about the three coaches or three managers, and we're talking about modern era because I'm not gonna remember the coaches back in the day. We brought up Jim Leland. We talked about him, and he's only got two. We talked about there was another one. Well, Bruce Bochy, he took two. He took the Giants, of course, and he took the Padres. And now
Right.
he's gonna take if he does win this series, he's gonna take the Rangers. You have Dusty Baker that's taken two. He's won. He went with the San Francisco Giants, and he's gone with the Astros. So the old mentality baseball still there. That gut feeling should not go anywhere. But I mean, cybermetrics is what's taking over the games. You have Cashman as one of those prime examples. You said Andrew Freeman, and he's one of those that tells Dave Roberts, hey, basically, I need you to do this, lefty righty matchup. That's one of the things that he does, and maybe he needs to start taking control of his team and understanding that that's not gonna be cybermetrics all the time. You have Snicker from the Braves. I feel like he didn't change his lineup all year long, and then he changed it for the first game against the Phillies, and
Mhm.
look what happened. You went back to it the second game, you won that game, and then what happened after that? You went to Philadelphia. You didn't do the right move sometime. There was a play. I don't know if you saw it. There was bases loaded. You had Acuna batting, and there was a wild pitch, and the runner at third did not go all the way to home. He ran back to third. What would you have done in that position? Would you have risk it and gone all the way out so he can score that run, or stay at third so you can give Acuna that chance to hit it out or to get a double?
You know what? I totally agree with Kevin Pillar did after watching the replay. It was one of those scenarios after I saw the ball roll back, he would have possibly been out by a mile.
Right?
And and there's a thing, having Acuna, your 40 homer 70s, 40-70 player up to plate, you got to take your chances, man. He's one of the best hitters we've had all season. And how are you not going to take that moment? He could
Yeah.
have potentially had gotten a 3-run bomb there.
Yeah.
And then it all actually fell down to that one great catch in center field by the rookie, right?
It got so quiet there you can hear a rabbit fart, dude.
That,
It got quiet when he hit the ball over there.
they were biting their nails out there, man. It was
Yeah.
tough for the fans, but
Yeah. I
it's one of
honestly
the fortunate plays that I honestly Pilar should have taken it because he's a speedy runner, but I also see why he didn't do it.
So look, this is what I thought. If Pilar would have gone home and he would have scored, he would have been safe. Now you have an open base at first. So you would have potentially probably walked Acuna, and the inning would have been over or whatever. But you give the chance to your number one player, MVP hands down. He was really good in the season. I would have let him bat. Pilar did a good smart move, staying at third. Because yeah, you're right. When that ball like went to his right side, he got to it pretty quick. And when he got it, he could have thrown them out right away, and that would have ended the inning, and then everybody would have been so pissed off at Pilar for that. Like one run, yeah, it would have changed probably the game too, but you got to think about those things when you're out there, and these are things that these ball players are thinking about, and the third base coach too. Like they're thinking about all these things, which is Washington was at third. He was like, "Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do." He didn't get upset at anybody. He was just like, "Yeah, good, 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 good reaction to come back." And good way to save your best hitter to get RBIs for it. So
Yeah,
which is crazy.
it
Yeah,
was just luck for the Braves. It was a bad bounce that came right back to the catcher, and it benefited the Phillies for this one.
yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Well, we'll get on Monday.
Sure.
We we tried to stretch it out as much as we could, but there was no comments on here. If you're on here, go ahead and hit that like and share the button, share this show, whatever you want to do. It's cool. We're baseball fans.
Yeah,
So
man.
go ahead and your last mention, man, before we log out.
Well, I want to say to everybody, thanks for tuning in. It's a great weekend, and we have a lot of baseball coming up, so that's exciting. But we'll be here watching with you guys and ready to bring all the latest news for you guys to end the season with a bang.
Sweet, sweet. We did have a little bit of technical difficulties earlier, so I do apologize for that. We'll try to get that going. We'll try to fix that for you guys the next show. But from all of us here at Real Talk Baseball, I'm Carlos Baseball. This is Ernie Orange. Real Talk Baseball, signing out.